table 7? Okay.
I just have to go and change the picture again.
All right. So table 7's question was sponsored by the Office of the Vice President for Research. At Virginia Tech, we strive to foster entrepreneurship and instill innovation to achieve our motto of invent the future. So how do we encourage the development of innovative thinkers? Could the same approach be executed for faculty, administrators, and students?
What's interesting is all the pictures look like we've written this on grocery bags. Fascinated by that. Artificial. So our group had some fun. We came up with about, when I say we mean Liz, came up with the freshman 10, which usually has a negative connotation. But in this time, we actually took it as a positive. So the question around our table was, well, you know, when you were innovative, and all of us were except for Professor Malone, who's never had an innovative thought in his mind, what we could tell from the conversation, you know, what were you doing? And so we went around and came up with ideas of when we're innovative and what we think causes innovation in ourselves. And what we came up with is that innovation is brought on mostly through exposure. And we had a long debate about how to describe that. And so what appears to be Clint Eastwood doing jazz hands is someone actually with a trench coat that Liz, we're not sure what designer is that trench coat is. So the concept of exposure, you know, and the other one was, what was our other part of the incentive, which is cash. So cash or some way to encourage people. So how do you encourage people? What we discovered mostly in college, I mean, obviously we talk about doing this in preschool, you know, or grammar school, and trying to encourage innovation by taking away some of the negative connotations, you know, like peer pressure and guilt and striving for things that cause people not to want to fail and therefore not innovate. And so we're said freshman year, basically all of your classes, 10 of your classes would be pass-fail. So that's the freshman 10. So your first 10 classes, you wouldn't get graded on. You'd still have to pass it, but you wouldn't receive a grade. And how does that help students? Well, you know, for all of us who teach undergraduates, know that grades are all that drive them to a certain extent. And so to the extent they can actually remain in school and take classes and do well in classes, and at the same time not have to worry about grades or justifying themselves back to their parents or to others, really we think would open up their minds. How does it help the faculty? Well, that's the freedom, which is it kind of, our faculty are shackled to having students, you know, coming in and having to grade all these students and all these freshman classes, and without having the grades, we think that they would cause them to be innovative, not only because they wouldn't have the grades, but then they would have to attract students, because students could take any class. They could take any class freshman year they want to, and not receive a grade on it. And it would say, cause people who are not particularly innovative faculty to maybe restructure the programs, otherwise no one will be taking their classes. What's the cost? From what we can tell, there is a little cost. We already teach students, we already have the classes, so we think the cost will be relatively negligible. And we've already seen the jazz hands. Any questions? I think that's, did I cover all of it there, team? Oh. Wait, if anyone's wondering what these arrows mean, we don't know, to be honest. Some sort of spider, you think, like, the goal here was thinking outside of the box, and that apparently is a pass-fail box. Liz is in therapy, and we really didn't think it's all going to work out well for her. Any questions? We'll have a second show after midnight. So. Oh, a question.
We had a question?
How do you ensure learning with this pass-fail system?
How do what?
Ensure learning with the system, P and pass
How
and
do we
fail.
ensure? Well, we ensure it essentially is that you still have to show up, right? I mean, that's part of it. And also, there will be minimum requirements. It's just you won't be graded on. That's all. Just we have pass-fail now. We do it, and somehow it succeeds. All I'm saying is all we're saying is to expand it especially for the first year, when there's so much pressure on these kids, and really to give them a chance to try things that they would never try. I mean, as we say, engineering students, they're stuck in a criteria. I mean, the only issue we have is obviously, you might add an extra year to a student because they're going to spend all their time trying to figure out classes and maybe not get all the gen eds. But I think there's a way to structure it with the CLE to make this work. But there is a way to do it. We do it presently.